Hello everyone and welcome to Geek Curio. On today's Two Goblins Drinking Beer, I'll be interviewing Tim, who I like to refer to as Father of Dragons. So let's go give him a call, eh? So hello Tim, thank you very much for joining us on the channel. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Andy.
Oh, it's a pleasure as all ours. So I'm really glad you've been able to come on the channel with us today. I've been absolutely enamored with the dragons that you've been painting recently.
Thank you very much.
Especially the bases. I've been a massive fan of your bases from back on the Twitter days when I was following you on there. So obviously you love miniature painting.
I do.
How did you first get into it?
So almost 2 years ago, I won a Twitter contest, like one of those giveaway things, and it was supposed to be just some stickers and some dice, I believe, and a guy by the name of GM Lee on Twitter also threw in a painted dwarf mini. It was a little wizard, and I opened it up, and I thought it was just the coolest thing ever. I'd been playing D&D for a couple of years at that point, but never even had wrapped my head around the idea of having physical stuff on a table. And I just saw that little dwarf, and I thought, I want everything like this. So I started looking into it, and I found there's this whole community on Twitter that I was kind of tangentially part of, because I started dabbling in the D&D community, and talking about just ideas and things like that with different people. But then there was this whole other world of painting miniatures, and I found Goblins of Mordor, obviously, that we all know and love.
We all know and love the king.
And my world changed, within minutes. I mean, I feel like it was just like a complete 180. I did art in high school, 25 years ago. I'd never really done much since then. So I got pointed in the direction of the Reaper miniatures learn to paint kit. It comes in a little box with everything you need to get started.
Oh, I've got one here.
Ah.
Would it be this one, sir?
That's the one.
That's the one.
It was a great set. Kind of gave me some paints to get started with, some brushes, some instructions on how to even think about where to begin, and I took off. That was July of 2018, and I haven't done basically anything else in my free time now in the last 2 years besides paint. So it's been an awesome journey.
It's quite recent for you then, isn't it? Because
it is. Yep.
I say we had Griffon a couple of weeks back, and
yeah, I was watching that one.
Yeah, he like me, he's been doing it on and off for 20 years now. With me, I started back in the early 2000s, dropped off, didn't do anything for ages, and again, Twitter was it just sucked me in again, and being part of the Goblins of Mordor was completely different to painting now as it was back then, because back then it was like sit in your room with a magazine, try and copy that. And the community that we have now is just so open. There's so many tutorials and people. I say we're able to share from across the world, and it's wonderful.
It's incredible. It really it's changed my life. I don't know how else to say it.
Well, I know you've got a really sweet setup, because I remember you posting your painting room once on Twitter. Are you sitting at that desk now?
I am. I can kind of do a little video tour here if you want.
Yep, more. I'd love to see it, because you've got like a desk in the middle, if I remember correctly.
Yep. So I'm not sure how to. It's in my library, which is where all those books are. But so there's my paint setup. Can you see that?
I can see that. Yeah.
Okay. And then the desk where I work.
Yep, I remember that.
And my light box, which is currently storage for works in progress, and all my other works in progress.
Yeah, I can imagine a lot of people watching this will be extremely envious of you, because
it's kind of my sanctuary. When I just need some downtime, I hang out in my library and paint some minis.
I just love the fact that you got a library. It's my dream as well. So
I've been doing that a lot longer. I've been collecting books since I was probably 18 or 19 years old. So
I'm kind of the same. I have this really weird, big worry because I live in quite a small house, and I've actually put a couple of cardboard boxes in the attic full of books, and I've been up in that attic for about 5 or 6 years. So I'm hoping they're going to be okay when I finally get to take them down.
oh yeah, I did struggle with that too in between moves.
Mm,
This is the first house I've had a true library in. Other places just bookshelves all over the place, and then a
yep.
lot of places stuff just in storage for years. It's nice to be able to pull things out though, and be able to see
Yes.
all the books again.
Always the best. So obviously you've been painting for 3 years. Can you pick any single favourite minis that you have at all, or I know.
No, that's tough. That really is. Obviously, I have a soft spot for dragons, as you were
Mm,
talking about. I've been painting a lot of them recently. So all of those, I just love my dragons. But I have a few others too that I really like. I think I sent you a picture of a goblin honor guard that had a little banner and a
yes.
drum and stuff like that. That was one of my favorites that I've done. That was over a year ago now. I still really enjoy that piece. And I think I even painted the Goblins of Mordor initials on the flag, just as a little thank you to Michael for everything that he's done for me.
Yeah, I'll try to make sure that's in the showcase that we're going to be doing for you as well.
And then the Reaper Baba Yaga hut I just finished up.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah, I was really happy how that one came out.
I've literally been painting along with you in my mind as we see the updates. Pretty much, I know it's like every other day because you've been working flat out throughout this lockdown crisis, haven't you? And then,
Yes, yeah. I'm a pharmacist, so I don't get as much free time as I would have hoped during this lockdown. Been working a lot, more hours actually than usual. So,
yeah,
but I still paint when I can. I like to just unwind on my days off when the kids are out doing their thing. Just paint for a while, and yeah, it's nice.
I mean, you said you did art back at school, but your artistic skills. I mean, I saw the freehand that you did on the Inquisitor that you're currently working on.
Oh
It's
yeah, just
really
today.
nice. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did like a couple art classes. I mean, it wasn't even like I painted a couple of canvases in my free time, like oil painting or whatever. But yeah, it was never a full-time hobby like this has become for me now.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you got you in the hobby because, like I say, if you don't mind me saying so, I think you're an absolute talent, and it's just great having you in the Discord with us.
Well,
So,
I appreciate that. Thank you. It means a lot to me.
so where do you get your inspiration for painting? I mean, like I say, the Baba Yaga heart was just unreal. And like I say,
Oh,
where do you get your inspiration?
for that one, I don't know. I was just trying to think of like the concept of like this old hut that's been walking around the woods and and stuff like that forever. I just tried to make it as old, as rundown looking as possible. I didn't do any really solid painting on it besides the windows. Everything else was just, I tried to, just almost dry brush it and lift up my brush as much as possible to make any paint actually look chipped and worn and
Hmm.
stuff like that. So it's just, I Google photos of old houses, or things like that, and other miniature painters. Sometimes if I'm stuck on how to proceed, I'll Google other people have painted the same mini. Like
Hmm.
that's always fun, just to kind of to at least ideas to start at or potentially bounce off of.
I
Kind of
like.
like the project I'm working on right now that I just set up on Twitter and on our Discord, where I'm trying to get everyone together to paint the same mini. It's
I think that's a
amazing to
fantastic
see
idea.
how many different ways people interpret the same thing. So I hope that will go well.
Yeah, I might have to let you know if you can put my name down for that because, like I say, I'm not on Twitter, but
I did put your name down. Absolutely.
thank you. Glad I are. So you gave us a little bit of a tour there, and yeah, there's a bit of paint on your desk, isn't there? How much have you
Yeah.
actually got, and what do you normally use?
So primarily I'm a Reaper
Hmm.
fan, just because that's how I started. One of my local shops carries a pretty extensive selection of Reaper, probably a couple hundred different colors. Vallejo is that different local shop I go to carries. So those are kind of my two go-tos. That's where I buy a lot of minis online, but I don't buy paint as much online unless there's something I'm really looking for I can't find. Just because I feel like I need to look at the bottle, I want to shake it up, see what the color looks like through the plastic, and that's why I have mostly Reaper and Vallejo. My wife gave me a box of Army Painter for Christmas last year, so I have some of those.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, that's about it. A little bit of GW, Citadel here and there.
All
Tried out
right.
some of the contrasts last year, but
Yeah, what did you think of the contrasts?
they're. I have 6 of them, so not even the whole range by any
Mm.
means. I found some of them really awesome. I love the snake bite leather.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I think I got
that,
that.
that that's a great one for I've noticed on like backpacks and things like that. If you
Hmm.
use it the way it describes, painting the white undercoat
Yeah.
and then slapping that on, it does a phenomenal job for pouches and packs and bags and stuff like that. It works pretty good. Some of the other colors, the purples and reds, I've at least I found personally I need more than one coat to get kind of the saturation I'm looking
Yeah.
for. But I mean, they're fun to play with. I'm always on the lookout for new things to try and
Because you had
experiment with.
those funky paints that you used on the tuner as well, didn't you? The tuner.
Oh, yeah, that was just a couple of Reaper metal paints.
All right.
The sparkling snow and um, gunmetal blue. So that was a real easy one. Just a couple of real light metals.
Yes, it's the dangerous thing about showing new paints to a miniature painter because we always just want. So um, I've
Exactly.
I've just got loads of nail varnish holders to keep all mine in. I discovered.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think
yep.
you've
That's
you're
what
doing the same as well, aren't you?
yeah, that's what I use. It works great. It's
Yeah,
a
works
cheap,
stuff.
easy way to do it.
So we talked about the paint. What about paintbrushes? Is there any particular brand that you can recommend?
Started off with just a cheap craft store, grocery store, dollar,
Hmm.
package paint brushes for years, and those worked fine. Then I picked up the Army Painter Most Wanted kit. Like they had like 5 brushes from
Oh
Army
yeah,
Painter or
yeah.
something like that. And that sufficed for me for a lot of years. Those are good, or the last year, 2 years. Those are real nice brushes. But just recently, in the last month or two, I picked up 3 brushes from Raphael.
Oh,
They're the Klinsky Sable brushes. So I put a little bit more money into those 3, and I don't know that I'll ever pick up anything else again. Honestly, I have all my other old brushes for train or glue or base coats or flocking or whatever, but sable brushes are just I can't even describe to you. Just the paint
yes, I love. Yeah.
sticks into the shaft of the. I'm not a technical person. I don't know what they're called, but it stays in there, and I can paint for minutes at a time without having to go back to the palette. And
Brilliant.
yeah, it's delightful.
End of last year, everyone was buying makeup brushes to
Oh,
do their
yep.
dry brushing. Yeah, I got some makeup brushes.
Got a couple on my need to clean pile, but
Yeah,
yeah, these things work really nice for dry brushing too.
yeah,
I really,
yeah.
really like those.
I think I own more makeup brushes than my daughter, and she's a teenager, and that's worrying. But
I definitely don't. I have 4 teenage daughters now, so my house is full of makeup brushes and
you're totally
stuff like
outnumbered,
that.
aren't you? So Tim, obviously you've been painting for not too long, really. So you're probably going to be the right person to ask this question because it'll be more fresh for you. But do you have any tips for people wanting to get started in miniature painting?
Well, like I was talking about earlier, that Reaper Learn to Paint kit was like a really helpful for me. It gave you, the instructions gave you a lot of basic ideas on how to do the gist of what you need to get started. So that is definitely a solid A plus recommendation from me.
Hmm. Excellent.
Um, Otherwise, just do it and have fun. I know so many people stress out because they compare their work to other people, and I do the same thing. It can be really disheartening sometimes to see other people's work who you think is better than yours, maybe. But I think the thing I would remember is just to have fun. Like, just get some paint on some minis. No matter what they look like, they're going to be better than gray plastic on your table. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
you just have fun with it. You know, your friends and the people who you play with are going to just love it to see anything on the table. They don't care. You
Yeah.
know, they're not gonna compare you to another painter. They're just gonna be like, wow, this is so fun. This is cool. So just come at it from that perspective. You know, you're doing something to make your game more, memorable,
Yeah.
and it really doesn't matter. Just give it a shot and don't give up.
No, that's definitely great advice. I always say, the only person you have to impress is yourself.
Yeah, I mean, exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. You're looking at your own work, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
Hey there, it's Andy. This is just a quick apology because last night my internet was playing up. Tim was an absolute trooper and we managed to continue with it, but you're probably going to be noticing some degradation in the quality of the video and the sound. So, massive apologies from me.
So, Tim, we're just going to have a look at some of these photos that you've shared with me. Thank you very much for this. Um,
Absolutely.
the first one that I got is one of your dragons, and it's the big purple one. It's got like white underbody. It's fantastic. The pose of it is absolutely brilliant. So, what
Oh, yeah,
what
that's
can you
one
tell
of
us
my
about this?
favorite poses. I've painted that one a couple times now. That's a really good dragon. It's
Cool.
the Whiz Kids gargantuan white dragon, technically,
Hmm.
but I've never painted it white. So
I just love the blending on the wings. See if we've got some
yeah,
pictures.
thanks. One of the first dragons I painted, the first full size one anyway.
Hmm.
And I was just trying to. Michael had been talking about wet blending a lot on his Twitter lately, and so I wanted to try that out. Purple's my favorite color, so I was just like, I'm gonna go crazy with this thing, see what I can do, and it just kind of evolved on its own from there. It was a real fun piece to put together.
And I love what you've done with the scales as well. Have you dry brushed like silver onto them at all?
No, that's just a real super light purple and white
Mm,
dry brush, just to pick out the details of the scales.
yeah.
I didn't use any metallics on this one.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just absolutely brilliant. Just the way that the light's just shimmering right off the scales. That's probably why I thought it was metallic, but it's absolutely beautiful. I love it.
Thank you. Thanks.
And we've got a side pose here as well. The details on the talons and all the wings around the head as well, and the elbow of the dragon. It's really nice.
Yeah, I try to bring those colors in through all the kind of membranous areas on the dragon's
Hmm.
body. Yeah, I hope to eventually throw it on my players as a kind of a variant version of Shadow Dragon, maybe with some weird radiant powers or something like that someday. We'll
I
see.
I know if I was playing with my gnome wizard and that appeared in the game, I would be terrified. Maybe not my drow assassin, but yes, Turk, my wizard, would be terrified of
Right. My
that.
family and I are running through the Tyranny of Dragons, the two-book campaign for that right now. So
Oh,
I'm
excellent.
hoping to be able to use this at some point, perhaps in the final battle or something like that.
Are you still on Horde of the Dragon Queen, or have you moved on to the Rise of Tiamat?
No, we're still in Horde of the Dragon Queen. In fact, we've been moving a little bit slow. Surprisingly, not as many games during lockdown as I
Mm.
hoped. But yeah, so we're still about probably a third of the way through the first book.
This dragon, it's got red wings and it's got what looks like writing on the wings as well. Is that freehand?
It is. That's freehand. That was actually my first piece I was ever paid to paint. Friend that I haven't really maintained contact with, but spent a lot of time with in my high school and or in early 20s. Found me on Twitter somehow and asked me to paint that for him. He wanted the dragon to be inspired by the Darth Maul Star Wars character.
I see it now. Yes.
So that's kind of I try to mimic his chest tattoos and facial markings.
Yes, I thought it was some kind of writing or some sort of runes that were etched into the wings, and I like that idea. But now that you say Darth Maul, And Darth Maul's a fantastic character.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
it's a,
see that, and I absolutely love
definitely a
it.
fun one.
So just gonna see if there's pictures of the base, because the base is quite good as well. You got a lovely chest there as well, and the
Yeah,
rocks that it's perched upon.
the dragon came with the rocks it's standing on from,
Hmm.
it's a Reaper model called Narthrax.
Oh yeah,
Um, and it came with the rocks it's standing on, but I thought it would be cool to kind of build some more rocks around it and make a little treasure hoard for the dragon to be guarding. So just kind of played around with that was my first real practice at building, a base beyond what came with the miniature.
and like I said earlier, I've been very impressed with your bases. Envious. I got base envy basically. Uh, like I say, if that's your first attempt, it's well done. You've absolutely nailed it. And I've seen what you've done most recently as well, so hopefully we'll get to see a bit of that. But the
Yeah, I've spent more time basing lately than painting. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
it's
But I'm just having fun trying new experiments and kind of figuring out ways to make the entire model a bit different than
mhm.
you might see otherwise.
The next one that I brought up is now is this steampunk or clockwork dragon? I like to think
Um,
clockwork, but I think it's
yeah,
probably
it's Reaper's. It's called Worm Gear from Reaper Miniatures.
uh-huh.
It's supposed to be a metal kind of steampunk dragon. I'm trying to find my own pictures here. It's been a while since I painted that one. Oh yes, okay, yeah. So I had started that one, hoping to do like a really worn, rusty, torn down, ancient war machine that had been
Hmm.
built. Never quite how I wanted the wings to look like. I was hoping to do like a chipped paint effect.
Yeah.
I tried several times and it didn't really work out, so I just painted the wings solid colors again. And I was just kind of drawing some inspiration from the Elder Scrolls video game series.
Hmm.
So I painted Dwarmer on the
Yes.
shield plates there. Uh, I don't actually remember what I translated it now. It's been a while. That's Dwarmer script, and I kind of had this image of someone digging through old Dwarmer ruins and finding this dragon and putting it together and trying to bring it back to life.
I think there's a photo of it in pieces as well, isn't it? So yeah, I've just found this one here. So obviously this tells me a story.
Yep, that
Um,
was one of my little mini dioramas for
mhm.
Michael's weekly competition, and I had that dwarf from another project I'd worked on, and he was the one who had found the dragon in his family's mines, and has brought it back to his workshop to see what he could do with it.
That's excellent. I do love that. It's kind of like with the table and the chairs. It's like these just barge into an inn and people just lay it down and goes, "Look what I found." Drinks it upon me.
Right.
That's what it says to me anyway. But no, I think
Here's a dragon. Don't mind.
the most challenging thing I would find on this is the wings because they're just you've really blocked the color in beautifully. I think people don't appreciate how difficult that is to do, especially with paint strokes and getting the layers on right and everything.
That was several coats. Those wings are made of a much firmer plastic than the rest of the miniature. They're real
Okay.
stiff, and I ended up having to do like several coats. And looking at the pictures now, actually, I can see there's still spots that are a little patchy. But yeah, that was probably 5, 6 coats on each of those panels just to get them covered well and not be too obviously brush stroked. And
Yeah, this is where I would be using my airbrush. I know I'm trying not to be an enabler here because I know
no,
you've got your eye on that, but you did this to
enable
me with the
away.
labyrinth.
You need the push to go and just purchase one.
Yeah, yeah, you did that to me with the labyrinth Kickstarter, didn't you? So,
Oh, did you end up backing that?
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
Awesome. I,
yeah.
I ended up passing. I have so much going on as far as funds committed to existing backed Kickstarters I don't own yet. So I passed, unfortunately.
Well,
But
you and I got the Annabelle's one, didn't the Tabletop Realms?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
But
Tabletop Realms. We both backed that one, haven't we?
yeah, I'm very excited for that. I think that's going to be great. In charge of DMing Dungeons of the Mad Mage for my
Mm.
friend group. We're currently playing through Waterdeep right now, I'm playing a character in that one. And then when we get to Dungeons of the Mad Mage, I'm DMing. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, to see those pieces by then and run a full tabletop version of that campaign.
I can see that being is one of the most dangerous things I've ever backed, because I know we're going off on a tangent here, because I'm going to be doing a review when I get mine in October.
For
But I think
sure.
the price of it and the accessibility of it is probably going to be
The
one of those
mag,
things
I mean,
you're going to
just
get it.
the clickability and everything just flying together on the fly. I think
Yeah.
it's exactly what I've been looking for. I promised my friends I'd run this campaign for them, and I had no idea how I would do it quickly, but this answered my question.
Yes.
I think it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to try them out.
It's going to be, you'll get it, you'll try it out, and then you'll probably spend next month's salary getting more. That's what I can see happening with me. So
Absolutely, yeah. I'm sure I'll end up getting more from her once they're widely available.
yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Okay, so the other miniature I wanted to pick, and this isn't a dragon. This is, you're going to have to correct me if I get this wrong. Is it a hippogriff or a griffin? But it's
Um, that is it. The white and purple one?
the white and purple one, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That is a griffin I painted for a friend's commission. He wanted me to paint wild shapes for his druid. Yeah, so it was a drow druid, which I believe there's a picture
Oh,
there as well.
I see the connection.
And that's for wild shapes. So I tried to bring in that drow druid skin tones into the griffin, instead of just painting the standard griffin, so that you can kind of see the relationship between the wild shape and the player character.
I think I found the drow. I don't know how to pronounce it now. The purple skin, the
Yep.
snake bite leather, by the looks of things. Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, and you can definitely see the transition, but the griffin is beautiful. The thing that I absolutely love is just the way the purple blends into the black on the tips, and I think it's the black on the tips that really sets it apart.
Yeah,
Um,
I ended up using a really dark purple. I don't know if it's black or not. Violet shadow. I mean, it's a basic black, almostly black, as you can see that. But then just real small gradient changes up the wingtips until I got into the white. I'm trying to make it as smooth as possible using the glazes and stuff like that.
yeah, I was going to say it looks glazed. Did you make the glaze yourself with water and just?
No, I use Vallejo's glaze medium. Thins the color of the paint
Mhm.
without losing the thickness, which is
Yes,
nice. So it doesn't all settle right into the cracks like it would necessarily if you added water.
yeah.
It remains its consistency, but then just kind of thins out the color so
Mhm.
it can blend more naturally into the color underneath it.
Also, the feathers just on the back of them. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the one picture. I'm just going to try and bring up some other ones as well. Again, it's just. You also got a little bit of pattern on the back, on the
Yep.
hide. So let's go see if I can zoom in on that.
The client requested some snow leopard themes in the main body, so I tried to duplicate some of that with some photo references, still maintaining that purple kind of theme to it.
I've just broken my own rule of actually zooming in on photos of minis, because I don't do that to myself. So I do apologise. But the quality of the picture is the quality is absolutely superb. And here they are together. So we've got a picture of the druid and his wild shape, and that is one badass druid.
Yeah, that was a fun set. The person I'm painting for actually contacted me again. I'm in the process of doing a dire wolf for that same druid, and there's a owl bear and a eagle. So those are all going to be here shortly on my Twitter, hopefully, as I work on those. But yeah, for the same druid. So they're all kind of going to bring in that purple snow-colored theme.
Sorry, I'm just totally enamored with this, and you've just waved a dire wolf in my face as well. So that's not fair at all. Obviously, I'm assuming this guy will never play any other character other than this druid now.
I don't know. It's actually his wife's druid, so
All right. She
he's the
has.
DM for her and his other friends. So I don't really know much beyond that. He sent me a few pictures of them playing with the characters I painted for them, and some. He does a full setup with Hero Forge. No, not Hero Forge. Dwarven Forge.
Dwarven Forge. I see.
That whole build
Right.
system,
Yeah.
and so some really really epic pictures, and my little minis hiding out on the table. But it's super fun.
No, they
I
are.
love being able to see my work on other people's table. I think that's honestly the biggest buzz I get from it. It's not the money, it's fun. It's so cool to be able to help people get models they're excited to play and really, geeked about on their tables.
I'm going to pick on one more as well. This dragon, and I haven't prepared you for this one, but it's a blue one. It looks quite small, and it's got blue, white, and purple and black in the wings, like blended in over and over again. Um,
Oh, the tie-dye dragon.
yeah, tie-dye.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And the base, I mean, obviously, some is that the Games Workshop skulls?
That is, yep.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull my pictures up. I'm trying to remember exactly how I did that one. Yes, that was the Games Workshop skulls. I just threw that in there, just a little. I don't know. I thought the whole thing was very. I don't know. I just wanted a little contrast. There was some. It was very bright, beautiful, bold colors.
Hmm.
I got the flowers around the base there, and then I'm like, let's just put some skulls to kind of
Why not?
contrast. Dragons are still deadly, no matter what they look like.
Flowers, where did you get them from?
A model railroad company, I
All
think.
right.
I don't even know the name of them. I just at like a hobby train shop. I think I
Hmm.
picked those up. But yeah, that was another request from a commission. The person wanted me to paint that for their dad for Christmas. Apparently, he's a big, 60s hippie tie-dye guy, and Grateful Dead type of thing. And
Yeah.
so I just kind of played off the colors that she asked me to work with, and came up with that one, and then threw down a little kind of stone crest for the base, just to give it something different to look at and different colors going on there.
Is it quite a small mini compared to the other ones?
It is compared to the other dragons. It's the Reaper Shadow Dragon, I believe, is what that one's called.
Hmm.
It's like a $10-12 mini, so not as big as some of the Darth Maul Dragon or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's much smaller.
How many dragons have you painted?
In the neighborhood of 15 or 20, probably. They're my favorite thing to paint,
Yeah.
definitely.
I think the rule is now any dragons should be painted by you, because I mean this one I'm looking at the top down picture and I'm tripping a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a challenge. That was something completely different for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, it's just the randomness of the pattern, but there is some sort of continuity in there as well.
Hmm.
But no, it's absolutely beautiful. And it's the blues on the side of its neck is what I like the most. I mean, you got the purples on its cheeks and on the wings, but it's that two-tone blue that you've
Okay.
got, which I'm picking out and absolutely loving.
Yeah, that was a good one to do. That was a lot of fun.
And I'm just looking at your zombie dragon as well. That is wow. I am just looking at absolutely everything. But we are going to be including this in the showcase. With the amount of photos that you've given me, I probably will need to do about 4 or 5 showcases. I might put them into sections or categories or something.
You
But,
don't have to do everything.
oh no, I love doing it.
They sent you every mini I've ever painted in one Google Doc, so including the very first one. We don't need to showcase all of it by any
No,
means.
no, thank you very much for sharing that with us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure.
Right,
Thanks for being interested in looking for it and wanting to see it.